Some places in this world feel like time has completely stopped. Broken doors, rusted walls, and silence so deep that even your own heartbeat sounds frightening. But sometimes, inside these abandoned places, people discover things that are more than just old. They are disturbing, objects that raise questions, clues that no one has ever been able to explain. Today we're going to explore 5 of the creepiest discoveries ever found in abandoned places. And the last discovery still keeps people awake at night. The abandoned hospital room. At the edge of a quiet city stood an old hospital. It had been abandoned for years. No one really knew why it suddenly shut down. One day, a group of explorers decided to investigate the building. Long dark hallways, rusty hospital beds, and peeling paint falling from the walls. But when they reached the last room at the end of the corridor, they noticed something strange. The door was locked from the inside. That made no sense. How could a room be locked from the inside in an abandoned building? They forced the door open, and what they found inside made them freeze. In the center of the room was an old wheelchair. On the seat, there was a dusty notebook. Inside the notebook, the final sentence read, "If you are reading this, leave immediately. He is still here." But the real question was, who was he? The hidden bunker in the forest. Deep in a dense forest, a group of hikers discovered a metal door in the ground. Half of it was buried in dirt and leaves. Curious, they pulled it open. Underneath it, a staircase led down into darkness. Was it some kind of old war bunker? They turned on their flashlights and went down. Inside were several small concrete rooms. Strange maps were drawn across the walls. But the most unsettling discovery was in the final room. There were dozens of clocks hanging on the walls. Every single clock had stopped. And even stranger, all of them had stopped at the exact same time. 3:17. Was it just coincidence? Or a sign that something terrible had happened at that exact moment? The abandoned toy factory. In another city stood an old toy factory that had been closed for nearly 30 years. Locals claimed strange sounds could sometimes be heard at night. Laughter, children's laughter. 2 documentary filmmakers decided to explore the building. Inside were thousands of old toys scattered across the floor. Dolls, toy cars, broken robots. But one room stood out from the rest. It was filled entirely with dolls. And every single doll was facing the door. Not the walls, not the shelves. The door, as if they were waiting for someone to walk in. One of the filmmakers picked up a doll. Underneath it, they found an old photograph. The picture showed a small child, standing inside the exact same room. But written on the back of the photo were chilling words. "They locked us in here." Who wrote that message? And what had really happened in that factory? The house by the ocean. Along a lonely coastline stood an abandoned house. People said a family once lived there, but one day they suddenly disappeared. No one ever found them. Years later, an investigation team entered the house. Inside, everything looked as if someone had just stepped away. Food was still sitting on the table. Clothes remained neatly folded in the closets. But the strangest thing was found in the bedroom. A calendar hung on the wall. One date had been circled again and again with a dark marker. The circled date was tomorrow, but the calendar itself was 25 years old. Why would someone mark a date that hadn't happened yet? Did the family know something was coming? The creepiest discovery. The final story might be the most disturbing of them all. An urban explorer entered an abandoned school somewhere in Europe. The school had been closed for over 40 years. Dust-covered classrooms, broken desks, and faded chalkboards. But when the explorer reached the basement, he found a door secured with a heavy lock. After forcing it open, he stepped inside. It was a small room, and the walls were covered in names. Hundreds of them, children's names. Next to each name, there was a date, but the final name at the bottom of the wall had today's date written beside it. The explorer's hands began to shake. Slowly, he turned around, and for the first time, he felt as if something in the darkness was watching him. The message: there are places in this world that are not just abandoned, they are filled with stories. Stories that time tried to erase. Some mysteries eventually get solved, but others remain trapped in silence, hidden inside old walls, empty rooms, and forgotten buildings. And sometimes, when a door has been closed for years, it might be better to leave it closed forever. Subscribe for more unsolved mystery.